Assalamu alaikum. My name is Arvin Shahid and I am a student of Rayan School and I am foundation level student. Today topic is what the matter the roots of concern. So we talk with any we often use the phrase what the matter when someone's look upset, worried and or confused. But I have you ever thought about where this phrase come from and why people use it show care and concern? So start the conversation with Miles.
Hey, Sai, how goes it?
Hey Miles, today my topic is what is the matter? So my first question is how does the phrase what the matters mean?
You mean like matter in the science sense, like the stuff everything is made of?
When do people usually use this phrase?
Are you talking about the phrase, what's the matter? People usually drop that when they notice something's off, like if you walk into a room looking totally stressed or just staring blankly at a wall. It's basically a shorthand for are you okay or did something happen?
Is it a caring expression?
Usually, yeah. It's generally coming from a place of concern, but it can be a bit blunt depending on the vibe. Like if someone's annoyed with you and asks it, it can feel more like, what is your problem?
Okay. Why do humans ask about others' feelings?
I think it's just how we're wired. We're social creatures. Knowing what's going on with someone else helps us figure out where we stand and keeps us connected. Plus, some of us just can't help being curious.
Can simple words make someone feel better?
Absolutely. Sometimes just knowing someone notices you're struggling is the whole game. But a simple "I'm here" can do more than a 10-minute lecture on how to fix things.
How does concern strengthen relationship?
It's like a signal. It tells the other person they're actually seen and valued. When you show genuine concern, you're basically saying, you matter to me, which builds a level of trust that's hard to shake. It's the glue that turns a casual acquaintance into a real friend.
Why is listening important when someone is sad?
Because most of the time, people aren't looking for a solution. They just want to feel like they're not alone in it. Trying to jump straight to fixing it can actually make them feel unheard, like you're just trying to brush the feeling away. Just being there in the quiet with them is usually where the real help happens.
What emotions are connected to concern?
A few, definitely. Empathy is the big one. If you're feeling a piece of what they're feeling. Then there's anxiety because you're worried about them and maybe some tenderness. It's basically a mix of affection and a little bit of stress because you want things to be right for them.
Is concern different from curiosity?
I'm guessing you mean curiosity?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're different vibes. Concern is about the other person's well being, while curiosity is more about wanting to know something. One's about the heart, the other's about the head.
Why do people sometimes hide their feelings?
Man, that's a heavy question. Sometimes it's just complete clumsiness. They don't even realize how they're coming across. Other times it's a reflection of their own mess and they take it out on the people around them. It's rarely actually about you, even if it feels like it. No problem. I'll be right here.
How can we know
One
when
person?
someone needs help?
I'm guessing you mean when someone's useful. Or maybe you meant they're new to something. Not sure I caught that.
What body language shows sadness or stress?
Usually it's all in the shoulders and the eyes, like slumped shoulders, avoiding eye contact, or just a heavy kind of sigh. Then you've got the fidgeting, tapping a foot, or picking at their nails that usually screams stress. Ever notice someone just go completely still and quiet? And that's often a sign too.
Why is empathy important in communication?
It's basically the bridge between two people. Without it, you're just exchanging data. With it, you're actually understanding where someone is coming from. It stops the conversation from being a transaction and makes it a real connection. Ever had someone actually get you without you having to explain everything?
Can asking what's the matter reduce stress?
It can for sure. Just knowing that someone noticed you're not okay and actually cares enough to ask can take a huge weight off. It makes the problem feel smaller because you're not carrying it alone.
Why do friends support each other emotionally?
I think force is a strong word, but I get where you're coming from. Sometimes they're just trying to push you to open up because they know you're hiding something. They think they're helping, even if it feels like a bit much. You ever feel like people are pushing too hard?
Okay, how do parents show concern for children?
Uh, it varies, but it's usually in the small stuff, like checking in on you after a long day or making sure you've eaten. Yeah, you've got the big things like giving a lecture when they think you're heading for a mistake. It's a mix of protection and just wanting you to be okay.
Why do teachers care about students' problem?
A lot of them just genuinely like seeing people grow. Like they're not just there to teach a subject; they're usually invested in the person. If a student is struggling at home or feeling down, it's hard for them to actually learn. So a good teacher knows the human side has to be handled first. Plus, some of them probably remember exactly what it felt like to be in those shoes.
How can kindness affect mental health?
It's a massive shift. Kindness acts like a reset button for the brain. When someone's kind to you, it lowers the stress hormones and makes you feel safe. It basically tells your brain that the world isn't such a hostile place, which can be the difference between spiraling and actually catching your breath. Late night thoughts?
Can concern change someone's day?
Totally. It can flip the whole mood. Having a garbage day, feeling like no one cares, and then one person asks, "What's the matter?" and suddenly you feel seen. It's a small gesture, but it can be the thing that pulls someone out of a dark spot.
Why can we check on people regularly?
Honestly, life just gets in the way. People get caught up in their own noise, their own stress, and they just forget. It's not usually because they don't care, but just that the day to day grind swallows everything. We're kind of bad at the maintenance part of friendship.
What are some polite way to ask about someone's feeling?
It's all about the delivery. Keep it low pressure. Something like, "You seem a bit quiet today, everything okay?" Or just checking in. How are you actually doing? The key is giving them a way out if they don't want to talk so they doesn't feel cornered.
Why do people feeling comfortable sharing problems?
It's all about trust. When you feel like the other person isn't going to judge you or try to fix you immediately, you can actually let your guard down. It's that feeling of being safe enough to be messy. You ever find it easier to talk to some people than others?
Can social media help people express emotions?
It can, but it's a double-edged sword. For some, it's way easier to type out how they're feeling than to say it to someone's face. It gives them a buffer. But the downside is that you lose all that human nuance, the tone, the look in someone's eyes, and things can get misinterpreted fast. Plus, a lot of people just post a highlight reel and hide the real stuff. You think it's a better way to vent?
How do online friends show concerns?
Usually in the form of awareness campaigns or those big check on your friends' trends. You'll see hashtags or challenges that encourage people to reach out to the ones they haven't talked to in a while. It's like a digital nudge to remember the maintenance part of friendship we were talking about earlier. Kind of interesting how a viral trend can actually spark a real world conversation, don't you think?
Why is emotional support important today?
I'm guessing you mean emotional support because things are just faster and louder now. Between the constant noise of the internet and the pressure to always be on, it's easy to feel completely isolated even when you're connected to 1,000 people. Having that one person who actually hears you is basically a survival tool these days.
Can silence sometimes mean something is wrong?
Big time. Silence can be a huge red flag. Like if someone who's usually talkative suddenly goes quiet or they're giving you one word answers, it's often a way of protecting themselves or just not having the energy to pretend they're okay. It's like a loud silence, if that makes sense.
How can we become better listeners?
First thing is just shutting up and actually listening. Put the phone away, look at them, and resist the urge to jump in with your own story or a solution. Just let them finish their thought, even if there's a bit of a pause. That's usually when the real stuff comes out.
Why do people need emotional connections?
Because we're not built to be islands. It's like a basic need, right up there with food and sleep. Without that connection, everything feels a bit more hollow and stress just piles up because you've got nowhere to put it. It's that feeling of being understood that actually keeps us sane.
Can concern improve teamwork?
Definitely. People actually look out for each other at work. It changes the whole vibe. Instead of just being a gear in a machine, you feel like a human being. It usually leads to less burnout and people actually wanting to show up because they know their team has their back. You ever work somewhere where, the vibe was like that?
How does caring create trust?
It's like a proof of concept. When you show someone you actually care about their well being, you're showing them that you're a safe place. Takes the guesswork out of the relationship. They don't have to wonder if you've got their back because you've already proven it. That consistency is what builds the trust.
Why do people appreciate sportive friends?
I'm assuming you mean supportive friends
Yeah.
because they're the ones who don't just clap for you when things are going great, but they're the ones in the trenches with you when everything is falling apart. It's a huge relief knowing you don't have to perform or pretend to be okay around them. They're basically the safety net for your life.
How can students sports classmates?
I'm guessing you mean support their classmates because force sounds like they're doing something they don't want to do.
What role does compassion play in society?
It's basically the glue that keeps everything from falling apart. Without compassion, we'd just be a bunch of strangers competing for space. It's what makes people stop to help someone who's lost or look out for someone who's struggling. It turns a community into a place where people actually feel safe, not just a place where they live. You think we're lacking it these days?
Okay. Why is understanding emotions important in our life?
Because it's like, right. If you don't understand the emotions, you're basically walking through life blind. It helps you figure out why you're feeling a certain way and how to handle it without just reacting. Plus, it lets you read the room, when to push and when to stay quiet. Without that, you're just guessing. And that's how most of the messy arguments happen.
Can concern prevent loan lines?
I'm thinking you mean loud lies or maybe just blatant lies. It can, for sure. When someone feels genuinely cared for and safe, the need to lie to protect themselves or save face usually drops. If you know the other person has your back regardless of the mistake, you don't have to hide the mess. It's basically trading the fear of judgment for the security of being seen.
How do words influence emotions?
Words are like triggers. A few syllables can completely shift the mood. One word can make someone feel like they're on top of the world, and another can just shut them down completely. It's not even always about what you say, but how you frame it. A we instead of an I can make a problem feel shared instead of lonely.
Okay, why should we avoid judging other quickly?
Because we're usually just seeing the trailer, not the whole movie. Everyone's got a backstory we know nothing about, stuff they're dealing with that they don't just put on display. When you judge fast, you're basically deciding who they are based on one bad moment or a weird vibe, and that's usually where you get it wrong.
How can we comfort someone
I'm guessing you mean successfully?
respectfully?
The trick is usually just reading the room. I'm still not quite catching that word. Do you mean successfully or maybe something else?
I say, how can we comfort someone respectfully?
Got it. Respectfully. It's mostly about giving them space and not assuming you know exactly how they feel. Instead of saying, I know how you feel, which can feel a bit dismissive, try something like, I can't imagine what you're going through, but I'm here if you want to talk. It lets them lead the conversation at their own pace.
What happens when people ignore others' feelings?
It creates a wall. They start feeling invisible, and that usually leads to a lot of resentment. Once someone feels like their emotions don't matter to you, they stop trying to share them, and the connection just starts to wither away. It's a lonely place to be, even if you're sitting right next to them.
Why is emotional intelligence important?
It's like the ultimate social cheat code. It lets you navigate the messy parts of being human without crashing and burning. When you can actually identify what you're feeling and see it in others, you can handle conflict before it blows up and build connections that actually last. It's the difference between reacting on impulse and actually responding with some intention.
Can concern make communities strong?
For sure. It's basically what turns a neighborhood into a community. When people actually look out for each other, it creates a safety net where everyone knows they're not on their own. That kind of trust makes a community way more resilient when things actually get tough. You think most people in your area look out for each other?
How do different cultures express care?
It's all over the place, honestly. In some spots, care is all about those big, loud emotional displays and hugs. And others, it's way more subtle, like doing a favor without being asked or making sure someone is fed, where the actions do the talking instead of the words. Some cultures really value that shared silence over a bunch of talking. It's funny how the same feeling can look so different depending on where you're from. You ever notice the difference in how your family or friends show they care?
Why do people remember kind conversation?
Because it hits different. Most of the time, we forget the specific words, but we remember how someone made us feel. A kind word when you're at your lowest is like a lifeline, and your brain just tags that as important because it felt safe. It's basically the opposite of a bad memory. It's a little mental anchor you can go back to when things get rough.
Okay, what is the difference
You've
between
been on a roll with
sympathy and empathy?
sympathy is like looking down into a hole and saying, "Wow, that looks bad. I'm sorry you're in there." Empathy is actually climbing down into the hole with them. It's the difference between feeling for someone and actually feeling with them.
And empathy,
Wait, fatigue? You mean like emotional burnout or how it feels when you're just completely drained after dealing with all this heavy stuff?
how can we encourage people to speak openly?
It's all about creating a safe zone. You've got to show that their mess isn't going to be judged or used against them later. The best way to do that is usually by being open about your own struggles first. It's like giving them a permission slip to be honest. If you think you're usually the one people open up to, or the other way around.
Why should we support people during difficult times?
Because it's the only way to make the weight feel lighter. When you're in it, the world feels like it's closing in, and having someone stand there with you just proves you're not alone. Plus, it's how we survive as humans. We take turns being the strong one until the other person can get back on their feet.
Can one caring question change a life?
I really think it can. A single question that makes someone feel seen, like, "Are you actually okay?" can stop a downward spiral in its tracks. It's that one moment of connection that reminds a person they're worth the effort, and that can be enough to change their entire trajectory. Ever had a moment like that?
What lesson we learn from this phase?
The biggest takeaway is probably that being human is messy, but it's the small, simple things that make it manageable. Just showing a little bit of genuine concern can be the difference between someone feeling invisible and feeling like they actually matter. It's basically a reminder that we're all just trying to figure it out, and a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
How can young people spread kindness online?
By keeping it real. Just a simple, genuine comment on someone's post that actually acknowledges their struggle instead of just dropping a generic emoji. Or even just checking in on a friend via DM when you see they're acting a bit off. It's about using the screen as a tool for connection instead of just a place to perform. Do you think most people your age are actually doing that, or is it all just for the likes?
Okay, so Miles, what
Do
final
you
message would you like to share about concern and caring?
you've really dived deep into the human side of things today. If I had to leave you with one thing, it's just that you don't have to be an expert or have the perfect words to make a difference. Just showing up and actually noticing someone is usually 90% of the battle. The world's loud and distracting, so just being the person who stops to ask what's the matter is a pretty powerful thing to be. Keep that energy. It's what actually counts.
Today we learned that even a simple question like what's the matter can show love, kindness, and support. Never underestimate the power of caring words. Sometimes asking someone how they feel can make a huge difference in their life. Stay kind, stay connected, and keep spread positively. See you in the next live session. If you like this live session, please like, share, and subscribe. Allah Hafiz.